Let me tell you something uncomfortable. When sanitation fails, disease spreads silently. Not through the air, not through some mysterious outbreak, through water, through soil, and through our hands. One act of open defecation can contaminate an entire community. And yet, millions of people still have no alternative. This is not just a hygiene issue. It is a public health crisis. Let me explain why. When people hear the phrase open defecation, they often imagine a personal habit. But the reality is structural. Open defecation happens when communities lack access to safe, functional sanitation systems. No toilets, no sewage systems, no waste treatment. So people turn to the only spaces available: fields, bushes, riverbanks, and drainage channels. And once human waste enters the environment, it does not stay where it was left. Rain washes it into streams. Floodwater spreads it through neighborhoods. Children play on contaminated soil. And suddenly, what looks like a private act becomes a public exposure. The danger lies in something public health experts call the fecal-oral transmission pathway. Here's how it works. Human waste contains pathogens, bacteria, viruses, parasites. When that waste contaminates water, food, or surfaces, those pathogens travel. Someone drinks untreated water. Someone eats food washed with contaminated water. Someone touches a surface and then their mouth. A disease spreads. This is why open defecation is strongly linked to diarrhea, cholera, typhoid fever, intestinal parasites, and severe children malnutrition. These are not isolated health events. They are sanitation failures. Children are the most vulnerable, not just because they are physically smaller, but because they interact with their environment differently. They play outside, they crawl on the ground, they touch everything. When soil and water are contaminated, children are exposed constantly. Repeated infections do more than make children sick. They weaken the body's ability to absorb nutrients, which contributes to stunting, a condition where children fail to reach their full physical and cognitive development. In other words, poor sanitation can shape a child's entire future. If the risks are so clear, why does open defecation still exist? The answer is simple: infrastructure. In many communities, toilets are unavailable, or they are broken, or they are unsafe to use. In some places, women avoid public toilets at night because of safety risk. In others, sanitation systems were never built in the first place. So people adapt, not because they want to, but because they have no other option. This is what we call structural sanitation failure. When human waste enters the environment untreated, ecosystems suffer too. Rivers become contaminated. Groundwater becomes unsafe. And the same water communities depend on for drinking, farming, and washing becomes a pathway for disease. This creates a dangerous cycle. Poor sanitation pollutes water. Polluted water spreads disease. Disease increases poverty, and poverty makes sanitation improvements harder to afford. The good news is that this problem is solvable. Countries that have invested in sanitation infrastructure have reduced open defecation dramatically. The key interventions are clear: safe and affordable toilets, proper sewage systems, community sanitation programs, and strong public health education. Sanitation is not just about toilets. It is about dignity. It is about health. It is about protecting entire communities. When sanitation improves, everything improves. Health, productivity, and the future of the next generation. Because a clean environment is not a luxury, it is a foundation. See you on the next one.